The ranking member introduced a document earlier regarding illegals showing up for court. Let me say the quiet part out loud for America. Pay attention. This is how this town works. Democrats will tell you one thing, Republicans will tell you another thing, the totally opposite. America says, what the hell is going on? What's the truth? Here's the truth. They do show up for court. Once. So they take a generalized statement. The illegals that are under summons from the time they've been released on some program, do they show up for their court proceedings? Yeah. In the beginning, they do. In the end, they don't. That's the truth, America. Pay attention. You journalists out there, do some work. You've got to peer through the veil of this town to seek truth. So, yeah, they show up for court in the beginning, they don't in the end, when they would be subject to removal and final adjudication. Mr. Hauser, your former chief of staff for ICE, former deputy chief of staff at DHS, senior advisor at Customs and Border Protection. Is that correct? It's
yes, sir.
In your background?
Yes, sir.
Were you ever a cop, sir, or are you an administrator?
No, sir. Military officer, but no, sir.
Ever held the hand of an American as their life left them from violent crime or drug overdose?
Sir, I was deployed in combat in Afghanistan in 2015.
Roger that.
Yes, sir.
But on the streets of America, have you held the hand of an American or held him in your arms and prayed with him while his life left his body?
No, sir.
Thank you very much. You see, this is the problem, America. You got senior advisors to this liberal administration that we've got in our White House that's given advice based upon, you know, very respectable backgrounds, but it's not from the street. They don't get it. We got 300,000 Americans dead from opioid overdose in the last 3 years. It's insane. The wave upon wave of violent crime hitting communities in our country that has never been touched by that kind of crime before. We have laws in this land for a reason. Enforcing the law at the border is like executive branch 101. That's where the executive responsibility really begins. If you can't secure the border, if you're going to wave in millions and millions and millions of migrants, quarter upon quarter, month after month, year after year, then you totally failed the American people when it comes to the sovereignty of our country. There's no escaping that, my brother. Sir, that's like the reality. So,
sir, could I
I'm going to ask, I appreciate you, but I'm going to ask Ms. Vaughn. Illegals have been released into our country that, you know, millions, but many of these immigrants, they've been waved in, they have no nefarious intent, but many of them do. They all came in illegally, but many of them do indeed have nefarious intent. They're connected with gangs, with criminal networks across the country, with drug trafficking, sex trafficking, all manner of criminal networks that they're plugging themselves into across the country that are having a serious impact upon American society. Ms. Vaughn, could you speak to that impact in my remaining 30 seconds, ma'am?
Yes, there are certain kinds of crime that are most definitely have a nexus to failing to control our border, whether it's the increase that we have seen in transnational gangs who are exploiting our loose policies at the border to move their operatives in, whether it's the cartels who are sending their operatives in to both manage their affairs here and set up new forms of criminal enterprises like retail theft and illegal marijuana grows and all sorts of other crimes. We have human trafficking because these migrants, many of them, end up in forced labor situations and having to work essentially for traffickers in order to avoid harm to their family members back home or to themselves here in this country. Because we cannot vet people, or we have no machine that can read people's minds as to their motivations for coming here, we are being taken advantage of. They know our border policies better than most Americans do.
I thank the good lady for her response. I thank our panelists for being here, and my time has expired.